At the 12 Hours of Sebring, glory is made and broken by how much time you spend in the pits. Sebring International Raceway, a former World War II B-17 bomber airfield, centered in the heart of Orange Country. It's flat, it's fast, and half the track is still the old surface originally built 80 years ago for heavy aircraft.
Man, Sebring is just one of those tracks that everyone wants to race in. I mean, there's so much race heritage here, so many different classes have run here, and so many different series, and it's a track that I think definitely separates the men from the boys.
The lack of elevation suggests simplicity to the untrained eye. That couldn't be further from the truth.
You have a lot of different track configuration, concrete patches, you have asphalt patches. The track is very, very bumpy, which makes it very hard on the car and on the driver.
The track hasn't been repaved in decades.
The car has to survive for 12 hours first to do well at all, and the driver also.
Physically it's tough. It's actually much more tough than Le Mans, which I've done already last year because you have such long straights, and here
You feel like you're doing 36 hours.
The MOMO brand has been part of motor racing for decades. It was in the early 60s when racing driver Gianpiero Moretti commissioned a local craftsman to produce a custom steering wheel for his own race car. The end product was different than all that had come before it. The biggest names in the business, Senna, Schumacher, Lauda, Andretti, and Mansell have all taken championships while looking at the MOMO logo in their cockpit. Moretti's deep passion for racing and the company's tradition of testing its equipment in competition continues today, with MOMO fielding teams in Porsche Super Cup, Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge, the European Le Mans Series, and here at Sebring in the 2013 American Le Mans Series.
It's like waking up in the morning, going to work, but work which you really, really love. I mean, obviously the night before you're a little bit nervous, you set your alarm clock, you're up before the alarm clock rings, obviously, and you come to the track and regular business.
Problem is if you go to sleep too early and you wake up too early, you make the day so much longer for yourself. So rather than it being 12 hours, it's, actually over 24 hours you're awake. So you try to wake up as late as you can, have a little bit of a lie-in, and try not to be the driver that has to do the warm-up in the morning. That's always a tough one.
It takes a lot to go fast. It takes a lot more to stay fast and make it to the end. It starts with the drivers doing what they do best. But the engineers must build a car that will endure. The race strategist must always have a plan. The crew must be ready for anything, and all must keep their focus. For the 12 Hours of Sebring, one of the hardest challenges is managing traffic from the different classes. That not only means passing other cars, but for the number 30 MOMO Porsche, that also means getting past. As a GTC competitor, the number 30 is competing against a field of similar spec Porsche 911 GT3 Cup cars. The teams are allowed much fewer modifications on the car in this class, making the setup all that more important. The GTC class is one of 5 at the famed 12 Hours of Sebring, the one with the most rules and regulations. The other classes include P1 for the high-end prototypes like the Audi R18, P2, PC, and GT. all equally as competitive as GTC, although much faster than the GTC cars. So while most think the driver only cares what's on track ahead of him, here he must be just as focused on their rearview mirrors to see what's coming up behind him. But when preparing for this year's 12-hour, things weren't going perfectly for the number 30 NGT MOMO Porsche GT3 Cup car.
Yeah, we were trying totally brand new suspension components on the car because you need to advance. I mean, competition is not sleeping, obviously. We played with it a little bit, we adjusted a little bit, we ran out of time.
And this is one of the first times where we really struggled. So I think the whole team was kind of off balance the first couple of days because, you know, we're not used to seeing our names so far down on the timing sheets. And but I think now everyone, you know, that's past us, that's behind us, and you know, where everyone's getting focused on the race now. So
now we decided to go back to our original shock manufacturer, original configuration. I mean, a lot of things have to just work out perfect just to win the endurance legs at the 12-hour race of Sebring. We need to stay out of the pits. Any unscheduled pit stop where we have to come in, you're lost already.
After months of preparations, the last-minute struggles.
Be ready.
It all comes down to this moment.
Green, green, green.
And the battle started at minute 1 with the Flying Lizards car number 45. Every move counts. Every mistake will cost the team over the next 12 hours. 30 minutes in, Sean Edwards makes his move to mark the start of a long battle between the number 30 MOMO car and the number 45 of Flying Lizards. Up until this point, you never really know where your competition stands. Qualification requires a different setup, and in practice, you have certain teams holding back to hide their car's true performance. That's why the first stint reveals so much, including a broken handle strap on the seatbelt.
That's the only thing that goes wrong. That's it, we're okay.
You can't loosen it anymore.
With a strong third-place position in the field at the start of the race, Enrique takes over for Sean and manages to take the lead during his first stint. But despite a strong early position, the drivers are noticing a lack in peak engine performance.
No power.
Then it was not needed. Then it was not needed. Maybe now it's better.
The number 30 MOMO Porsche is fast in the corners, but not on Sebring's long straights.
If the corners fast and the braking better, then you pass him, and then at the end, he's not there.
and then
I got nothing on the straight. No torque and no top speed.
Diagnosing the problem could mean an unnecessary pit stop, not something the team can afford. But an engine problem is not something that can be ignored either, and the team tries to identify the issue to help prevent it from evolving into a major disadvantage for the remainder of the race. While the team is discussing the car's performance issues, an alarming message comes in over the radio. Marco is feeling some fatigue in the cockpit. Temperatures can reach up to 110 degrees inside a race car on a hot day, and this day is no exception. While enduring the extreme temperatures and fighting the steering wheel under extreme G-forces, a driver can lose upwards of 1 liter of water over the course of a race. Hydration is key. But that doesn't hold him back. He's only 17 seconds behind the leader, fourth in class, and the team's last pit stop puts them back behind the number 45 Lizard Porsche. Not a bad position after only 2 hours.
He's getting dizzy, you have to get to the car.
A little bit ago.
Next lap, he's coming in, he's getting dizzy.
Be safe, be safe.
Marco, who is now approaching heat exhaustion, upon exiting the car forgets to help strap Sean in for his stint, costing the team valuable time in pit lane and several positions, dropping them back down to 7th.
Why on earth did he walk away from the car like that without belting me in?
Idle racing, bit of
Not you. What happened?
this thing up there.
Despite the frustration of an unneeded pit stop, Sean sets a blistering pace and fights through the field, bringing the MOMO Porsche back into the lead before passing the wheel back to Henrique. Henrique keeps up Edwards' quick pace, regaining positions lost during his driver change to settle into 3rd place. The hours tick away. The focus is exhausting. But even when a driver is in the zone, the smallest mishap can have dire consequences.
Dodging Chrysler. Oh, off has gone the 30 car and back on again.
The constant struggle with the Flying Lizards car comes to a head, with a shunt from behind as the number 30 and the number 45 cars exit turn 7. The result? A damaged front splitter. Though only a small piece on the front of the car, it's actually one of the most important for aerodynamics. Losing a splitter can cost a driver upwards of 2 seconds a lap as his downforce decreases. Henrique comes into the pits for refueling and to allow the team to evaluate the damage. To save time, they send him back out without fixing the splitter, hoping for a full course caution to slow down the race for another pit stop window. But now, we're into the hardest hours of the race, sunset.
Looks like Sean's gonna go in for Mark. He's gonna jump out, and then Sean's gonna do the sundown stint, which is known as the worst stint at Sebring. Is when the sun's coming down, you get a lot of sun in your eyes.
The
It's
Carlos
very
Kaufman
tough.
stint.
Huh?
Carlos Kaufman
Yeah,
stint.
it's a Carlos Kaufman stint. It's it's not an easy stint. So I'm glad Sean's doing it. I'm glad I'm not. So.
At Sebring, the sun in March sets directly at the end of the back straight, right into the driver's eyes. Driving into the sun at 160 miles per hour is something no racer enjoys.
Most tracks when you drive at night, at least provide some sort of lighting. In Daytona, you drive at night, it's lit up like a stadium. Here, there's absolutely no lighting.
Later, the team notices that there is some damage to the driver's window and door. Track officials require the team to replace the door to stay in the race. Yet another unneeded pit stop, made more painful by the fact that now Sean Edwards has pushed up through the ranks to 2nd in class.
So many fiber fans here this weekend. The car corrals are full.
The crew quickly replaces the door, but the stop cost the team 2 positions, and now Sean will have to fight back through field on a dark track. The team is in 4th place. Over the course of the race, the strategy has to be perfect, taking all possibilities into account for pit stops, fuel management, and safety.
And this time the brake pedal goes off. Brake pedal goes off.
Sean radios in. The drivers have been pushing so hard for so long that the number 30's brakes are fading. They are just under 30 seconds behind the 3rd place car, the number 66 TRG, which hasn't made any recent pit stops. The team has to decide whether to continue to push hard and stay within attack range of the number 66 car ahead, or settle in for a 4th place finish. To push means to risk further problems with the brakes, and the ever-present risk of car failure. But to settle for 4th means the NGT MOMO team will leave Sebring with some exhilarating memories, but no trophies. After 11 hours of vying for position, from 7th place to the lead in class, the MOMO team knows it must push. And on the final lap, although having set an amazing pace for most of the race, the number 66 TRG Porsche in 3rd place develops a problem. A misjudgment in the fuel loads during their final pit stop has resulted in drastic consequences.
Damien Faulkner has come to a dead stop out on the circuit on the last lap around. This is the 3rd place car. He will lose the podium here. I think Sean Edwards has gone through.
The number 66 car runs out of fuel on the last corner of the last lap of 12 hours of racing. And MOMO once again heads to the podium at the ALMS 12 Hours of Sebring.